Alright guys, today we are going to do something a little bit different. So this is going to be something, maybe it's a series, I'm going to talk about it a bit later in the video, but we have 3 crazy, insane tracks that you need to see but probably haven't. And I know that some people have seen them. This would be the barn. I should have the creator and the track name on screen if you're curious. And this is MX versus ATV Reflex. So we have 3 tracks, right? Like I said, 3 tracks to go over. This would be the barn. I only have 1 lap on this track because I don't know why. Well, I know why. I'm an okay average reflex player, but I was struggling on this track. The track is pretty easy. It's mostly just big full sends, but the corners and the ruts, they were kind of tough because you go into them really, really fast, and they're really good. They work really well. They're really well made, but with all that speed, it was really easy to just kind of go over the top of them or whatever. So struggled here a bit, but we did get 1 lap in. And I've shown part of this track before when I was covering the LCQ Studio. I believe it was for LCQ Studios before the game kind of came out last year. I believe it was last year, right? Well, before that game came out, I was using Reflex stuff to fill the video and kind of talk over it. And I believe I had some of this track in here. I don't know if I had a full lap, but here you get the full lap. And it had a decent amount of downloads, so for sure some people have seen it. But these are really good, really creative, really crazy tracks that you need to see or need to try, but you probably haven't. And the reason I say that is because here we're going to be switching over to the second track. The reason I say that is because lately, and it just kind of started happening in 2023, when I played Reflex or had some Reflex content, I was seeing some comments from people saying, whoa, this game looks so old, play the new games, whoa, it looks really bad, the bike sounds are really bad. The game did release, I believe, in 2009, so yeah, it is a bit dated, but in my opinion, it still is the best MX versus ATV game ever made. And if you haven't played it, you need to do yourself a favor and try it. The way it plays, the physics, just the design of the tracks, it is the best, in my opinion, MX versus ATV game ever made. So, since I have seen some of those comments, I'm sure there are people that have not played or seen these insanely well done tracks. So, this would be the second track. I believe it is Sugar Camp MX, and I'll have the track name and creator on screen again, but I had so many. I downloaded like 8 different tracks because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and these were the 3 that I chose. This was number 2. And I spent the most time on this track because, in my opinion, this was the best track out of the 3 I have to show you today. The design, the flow, the creativity. I mean, the back half of the track is kind of sandy. And it isn't, the barn was mostly full send, big jumps. And this is too, but you do have to have some throttle control, some scrub, some jumps and whatnot. It isn't all full send. And so you have to memorize the track and kind of get used to it, right? So just the design, I mean, the bump models, the environment, really, really well done. And this track is not new. This track, I've never played it. I'm shocked. I've never played this track. I don't know how I missed it, but there are other good tracks that I haven't played, obviously. I haven't played every amazing custom track in Reflex because they've been making content for it for many, 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 many years, but this one I definitely missed, and I'm really glad I have the opportunity to come back and try it out. You need to do yourself a favor. If you haven't played if you haven't played MX versus ATV Reflex, and for sure if you have Reflex on PC, because you have to be on PC if you want to have the ability to try these tracks out. You have to be on PC, but if you haven't played the game, go try the game. I believe you can play it on the new Xboxes. It's like backwards compatible, so go try it out. I mean, the game is amazing. Even if the graphics aren't quite there, the bike sounds aren't quite there, I mean, give it some slack. I mean, the game is old, but it still is amazing. The physics, the controls, the just everything is just right and a blast to play. You need to try it. But back to the track. I spent the most time on this specific track because it took me a bit to memorize it, and I was trying to, have a bit of fun. Throw some whips and some scrubs and whatnot, because it's not as fun, and it surely isn't as fun to watch if you're just straight over every jump, right? So sometimes I'd forget what was coming up, or I'd scrub a bit too hard and mess the lap up. But I was trying really hard to string together a few good laps, and we got 2 together here, and then one that was probably the best. It was better than the first 2, but whatever. The ruts worked really, really well. They grabbed you. They were pretty big because you could carry decent speed into it. And again, I have 0 complaints. This is a fantastic track, just as good as any of the newer tracks. Just because it's old doesn't mean it isn't done as well or whatever. The track is amazing, and I had a great time on it, and you need to try it out. But since we have one more lap to go, I want to take this time to talk about this series a bit. So, it probably will just be one video, probably won't do another one, but what I wanted to do was run a short series here about some really crazy, good, fantastic tracks that you need to see, but you probably haven't. Maybe that's because you didn't play the game, or you didn't watch the game, or they're so old that you didn't see them, or whatever. I kind of want to do that. And it doesn't just have to be MX versus ATV Reflex. I kind of want to do it maybe with MX Bikes. I know MX Bikes is like one of my favorite games to play still right now, but the problem is that content doesn't do very good on my channel. It's because multiple reasons. One, I'm not very good. I'm okay, but I'm not very good. And I'm not aggressive at getting new content out. I never will be. It just isn't. I don't want to do that with MX Bikes. So I know I see people asking about it all the time, but the reason I don't play it is because most of you don't watch it. So maybe we could do it with MX Bikes if there was enough support, more Reflex. Maybe we could even go back into Supercross games, MXGP games, and find some of the most downloaded, best custom tracks in those games and do it. But I don't know. If there isn't any support or the video doesn't do very well, there is a high probability that the video doesn't do very good. Probably this is it. So if you wanted to see more, I'm sorry. And this is probably just a one-off video, right? So I just kind of want to throw that out there. If you're wanting to see more, please leave a like, support the video, leave a comment, let me know it is something you want to see, because sometimes I really don't know. I really don't know sometimes what you guys want to see. I do stuff that I think is cool and don't know how you will feel about it, or if you'll even want to watch it. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about this video and a possibility of a series. But here we switch over to the third and final track. This is Moon. Again, you should see the name of the track and creator on screen. I believe this might be by Inverted. Not sure if that's how you say it, but I have a couple of things to say about this track. First, it is incredibly creative, really fun. The track design was okay. Not the best I've ever seen, but the design, or the idea, the environment, the atmosphere that you get when you play this track is so cool. The bump models being purple, the terrain deformation purple. It looks like the moon. It looks like we're in space. It's really, really cool. And again, the track itself is it's okay. Not the best I've ever seen, but it's the design, the idea, not the design. The idea and how it was put together is what makes this track really cool. But they also took the time to get a bit of advertisement for their gear. So I guess they make, I didn't know this, but I guess they make real life riding gear. They have their gloves. You'll see some billboards around the track that advertises their gloves that they had. This track is really old, but kind of advertising for their company, which was a creative, interesting way to do it and try to reach out to the motocross gamers, because a lot of us do ride in real life, and so that's why we enjoy these games. Not all of us, but a lot of us like these games for that reason. So really great track. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you want to see this continue. or if you're fine just being a one-time video. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.